Nokia has agreed to purchase optical networking component company Infinera. This deal is valued at $2.3 billion and will see Nokia paying 70% of that in cash. Infinera makes optical components like lasers, transceivers, and more. The company has a substantial market share in the optical space, and in addition, Nokia is selling their Alcatel Submarine Networks business to the French government for $350 million. Tom, are these related, and what does this say about the industry?
I think that this is something that is directly related for a couple of reasons, Stephen. The first one is by saying that we're going to get rid of the submarine networking business, we're basically saying we don't want to operate these old school kind of connectivity things anymore. We're going to turn those over to organizations that honestly have a better vested interest in not only operating them, but more importantly, protecting them. As we've seen in the Bab al-Mandeb Strait for the last few months, the security of submarine cables is something that's paramount to world governments. I don't think Nokia has a private mercenary force that can sit out there on a boat and protect that submarine cable. But more importantly, Nokia is signaling that that's going away. And they're more focused on this optical revolution, if you want to call it that. That substantial market share that Infinera already enjoyed was something near 20% of the optical transceiver market. Anyone out there who's ever tried to install fiber connectivity knows what a big giant pain in the neck it is to get those transceivers, the SFP modules and everything like that. And a lot of companies farm those out to small manufacturers. Finisar is one that comes to mind from back in the day. You would actually see a Finisar optic with a branded logo on it. And so this is not the case for Infinera. They own everything top to bottom. So this makes Nokia an immediate player in the optical networking market. And I think what they're doing is they're saying we're going to start adjusting our spend in R&D to more closely align with the way that consumption is happening today. Not by providers of internet services, like the people who would operate submarine cables, but cloud providers, people who are building these giant data centers and running lots of optical networking because they need massive amounts of bandwidth. We're talking the 400 gig, 800 gig type of Ethernet. That doesn't run over copper, kids. That runs over fiber, and it runs over a lot of fibers. And so by being able to be aligned with these markets, they're basically saying to everyone out there, we are a credible player in the cloud networking space. That means that they're going to be able to provide these functions and this hardware to companies that are already purchasing it to build their own devices. So that would be your largest hyperscalers, your Amazons and your Facebooks. For the other companies that are looking to maybe buy into this, that would have only really been considering a company like, say, Arista as of late, they now have another option with Nokia. I think this is a strategy shift, and I think it's a smart one. Because overall, what it means is that Nokia is staying ahead of the curve and trying to reinvent themselves to be a company that is focused on providing solutions to where the money is being spent today. Whereas other companies who have a more tenuous investment in those areas, but are seen as giants in places like carrier routing, are loath to change because they haven't extracted all of the value out of that market line just yet. I think this is going to be a good thing for Nokia in the future. And I'm actually excited to see kind of if there's a lot of uptick in their sales to cloud providers with this Infinera acquisition. So time will tell. By the way, $2.3 billion for a company like Infinera, that's a steal. Why weren't they a more valuable company? I think it's because people are underestimating just how much the fiber market has room for growth. We focus a lot on the copper side of the house, especially in the campus network. But once you get into the data center, there's no electricity anywhere. It's all light.